Do you love nature and traveling? If so, Banff National Park is definitely the place for you. It gives you a wide variety of things to do, whether you love hiking, mountains, lake, or kayaking, or even if you don't like any of those things, there are plenty of places to see that will never disappoint you. This is the first part of my Canadian Rockies series, and today we are visiting Banff National Park and Lake Louise. I'll be visiting and guiding you as much as possible on visiting the best lakes and viewpoints in the way. Please join me on this adventure and watch all the way from the beginning to the end so that you don't miss out on any great place to visit and for you to have the best experience possible in the Canadian Rockies. Now let's get started. In order to get to Banff National Park, we flew to Calgary. Then it was about an hour and a half drive to Banff town. A small village called Canmore, slightly east of Banff, is a good place to book your stay. On the first day evening, we checked out Banff town a little. Be prepared for the Banff town being a bit busy and crowded. Then we ended our first day at Vermilion Lakes. If you visit Canada in the summer, the sun may stay up till 9 o'clock or even later. The next morning, we're now heading to one of the best lakes in the Canadian Rockies, Lake Louise. It is nearly an hour drive from Canmore to Lake Louise. Lake Louise was very beautiful, and it was so beautiful that I thought it was the best lake view I have seen so far. In the morning times, you can see the beautiful reflections of the mountains in the lake as if the lake was a mirror. Do you know that out here, the weather can change very quickly as well as the temperature, so you should be prepared for that. Ideally, you should pack many layers. Since this lake was very beautiful and popular for kayaking as well, we decided to try out kayaking for my first time. Kayaking here may have long lines. They also make everyone wear life vests just in case you fall in the water.
Are we excited?
Since it was my first time, I had to learn how to paddle and it wasn't easy. The views here out in the middle of the lake on a kayak was even better. This is a great spot for you to try kayaking and it is very worth it. The lake is very peaceful and out in the middle of it, it's not super crowded and the views are great. After about 30 minutes of kayaking, we turned back to head back to where we started, which was near that building you see over there, which is the Fairmont Chateau. Now it was time to go into the Fairmont Chateau to eat a great lunch with great views of Lake Louise. Eating lunch while being able to see some views of the lake was great and very worth it, and I recommend you try eating lunch here so that you can get some views. In the afternoon, the lake color turns darker, causing people to no longer be able to see the mountain reflections in the lake like the morning. We are now going on a little hike to Fairview Lookout, and we originally wanted to do the famous Lake Agnes Tea House hike, but because of time, we decided to do a shorter version. This one is a nice shorter version of the Lake Agnes Tea House hike and takes about an hour round trip compared to 2 to 3 hours round trip. However, there is still over 500 feet of elevation gain, and it is almost all uphill. It doesn't look steep at all on the camera, but once you actually get there, it will actually be quite steep. The great view at the top at this viewpoint make this hike very worth doing. Now we are heading to another one of the best lakes in Canada called Moraine Lake, and now the road to Moraine Lake is blocked off, so you must use the shuttle. Moraine Lake is also one of the best lakes in the Canadian Rockies, and this lake has a darker color. Now we are heading to the main viewpoint of Moraine Lake through the Rockpile Trail, which is a short 10 to 15 minute hike that takes you there. This hike is uphill with some stairs, but it is very short, so most people will find this okay. The viewpoint here was very beautiful, definitely one of the best views I've seen in this trip, and you have to do this hike no matter what if you come to Moraine Lake. The viewpoint is on top of a pile of rocks, and that is why this lake is named Moraine Lake, because moraine means a pile of rocks, and this is the main spot for this lake. We are now heading back to Banff through the scenic Bow Valley Parkway, and we may even stop and see some more beautiful views or some chances of wildlife. Along the road, we stopped by a place called Moran's Cove, and this spot was beautiful with some views of the Bow River. This is our next stop in the Bow Valley Parkway to catch a view of the Bow River. This is another stop in Bow Valley Parkway, and there are plenty of places to stop and catch some nice views. We met our first wildlife in our trip, which looked like a female deer. Then we came to Bow Falls. This was a small waterfall in the Bow River. In this spot, you see the views and walk at the same time so you can control how far you go. This waterfall was not steep at all, but it was pretty powerful. Now we came to Fairmont Springs for dinner. This restaurant is called Castello Italiano and is a very popular restaurant and may take a little longer than what you would expect. Then we came back to our hotel and ended our first and second day. Thanks for watching my video. Make sure to watch the next parts of my Canadian Rockies series when it comes out, which I will link in the next screen. Please subscribe if you want more travel vlogs and helpful advice for planning your trips. See you next time.